Hello everybody, today I'm going to be telling you all about the books that I really want to read in May. Again, like last month, I have given myself a little bit of an ambitious TBR, but I feel like I read more books than I expected in April, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna give myself another ambitious little TBR. There are like some other little books that I might consider as well, but these are the main ones that I really want to get through. So the first book that I really want to read will technically be a reread for me, but it's the new version. So that is the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I originally read the self-published version, and apparently with the re-release of it, they have added like more detailed scenes, they've added a few more descriptions of characters, and there's also new artwork in it as well, like compared to the old ones. Like they've been completely like redrawn and like redesigned, and I'm just like really excited for it. So I'm gonna reread that one. I feel like this one should be pretty easy to get through considering I have technically read the book before. I'm just rereading this one just to see what the differences are, and before the sequel comes out later on this year. At the start of the year, I reread Vampire Academy, which is the first book in the series, and so I really need to get to Frostbite, which is book 2, and I'm kind of casually rereading this series this year. I absolutely flew through the first one at the beginning of the year, and I really want to get to the second one. There's a lot of like issues with this series, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just so much fun anyway, and I just have a really good time reading it, and it's really nostalgic. So I'm going to be reading this one as well. I can't even remember what happens in the second book. Next, I really want to get to a graphic novel which has recently caught my attention, and that is Still Alive by Safdar Ahmed. This one has been shortlisted for the Children's Book of the Year Awards in Australia, and I think that's why it's been gaining some popularity recently. This one sounds really interesting. Basically, Safdar Ahmed went to a detention centre in Sydney in 2011. These are the stories and depictions of the refugees who were in that detention centre, and he tells their stories, and apparently it's just really good. In case you don't know, Australia's treatment of refugees and asylum seekers has been disgusting, and it's been going on forever. I know the term kids in cages was brought up a lot around the Trump administration, but Australia has been doing this for so long, and it's so gross, and it makes me so sad. Like, there have been people who just want to find a home here in Australia who have fled war-torn countries for whatever reason, and they've been trapped in detention centers or hotels for anywhere between like 3 to like 10 years. Like, it is ridiculous. I'm really interested in reading this one, and interested to see how it interweaves like journalism and autobiography into a graphic novel. And yeah, I think it's going to be really good and a really kind of important read, and I'm really glad that it's been shortlisted for the Children's Book Award as well. Because it's been shortlisted for a Children's Book Award as well, hopefully it goes into more schools and whatnot across the country. But yes, I'm very excited for this one, and I'm so glad it finally arrived. On the same day that I picked up Still Alive, I also picked up Devotions by Mary Oliver, and she is a very well-known poet. I've never read any of her work at all. I have seen a lot of people recommend her work. Apparently her poetry is very much focused on nature and the physical world, and like the bonds between living things, and I'm very curious to see how I feel. I feel like I haven't read a lot of poetry, but I feel like what I have read, it's mostly been things like friendship and about abuse and like love poems and whatnot. So I'm really curious to see how I feel about this one, and to give it a go, because I've heard really good things about Mary Oliver in general. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. It's like the same length as like a normal novel, but obviously it's just like a bunch of prose. I think it'll be something nice to kind of like read and pick up throughout the month. Like, even if I don't read it all in one sitting, like I'll read like one part or a few poems like here and there, and yeah, we'll see how I go. But I'm really excited for this one. The next book that I really want to read is Terms and Conditions by Laura Asher. This is book 2 in the Dreamland Billionaires series. I had to like look up the name of the series because I could not remember at all. I read the first book, The Fine Print, for a book talk romance video that I did, and I really had so much fun making that video. I will leave it up in the corner here if you want to watch it, but I go into more detail about what this series is about. But I had so much fun reading the first book. I had my issues with it, and I go into, again, more detail in that video, but I just had so much fun reading the first book, and I would get through like 100 to 150 pages in like one sitting, and that is very not like me, like at all, because I am a pretty slow reader. For me to read that many pages and to get through the book as quickly as I did really says something, I think, because yeah, I do not read quickly at all. But this, oh my god, the first book was just so addictive. The first book in this series follows Rowan and Zara and how they fall in love, and this one follows Declan and Iris. Declan is the older brother of Rowan. Rowan was the youngest brother of the three, and yeah, obviously it's gonna follow each kind of brother and their love interest, but regardless, I'm just really excited. As soon as I saw that the second one had come out, I knew I had to read it as well straight away, just because I had so much fun, and I just think it's gonna be a really good time. The next book is one that has been on my TBR for a while now, and one that I really need and want to get to, and that's because I read one of her previous books and it was like my favorite book of last year, and if you know, you know, but that is All's Well by Mona Awad. I loved Bunny last year. It was like my #1 pick of the year. I had so much fun reading it. Bunny was just such a weird, creepy, fun reading experience, and so of course I had to pick up All's Well by her as well. So this follows a woman named Miranda who has chronic pain, I believe chronic back pain specifically. She ended up losing her acting career because of chronic pain, and now she is a theatre director, and she is on the verge of losing her job again. Miranda really wants to put on Shakespeare's play All's Well That Ends Well, and she really wants this to save her career, but everyone is hell-bent on playing Macbeth instead, which she really doesn't want to do. And apparently it goes into more of her past and her rebellious students, and it focuses a lot on like her chronic pain and how that affects her as well. And I'm not sure if this is going to be like as weird as Bunny. I feel like it's going to be. Like, I feel like it's going to be weird and strange in some aspect, but I'm just not sure how. But regardless, I'm just so excited for this. I'm just really excited to see what else Mona Awad does. If I end up really loving this one, I'm probably going to be picking up her debut novel as well from a few years ago. But yeah, I'm just so excited for this. I'm really intrigued. My expectations are probably a little bit too high, but I'm still really excited regardless for this book. So this is definitely high up on my to-read list for this month. Alright, so they are all of the books that I really want to read in the month of May. I am so excited about all of the books that I have chosen, because I feel like while it's a lot of them I'm like super excited for, and some of them will be kind of like easier or like quicker to read anyway, so hopefully it sorts itself out and I can actually get through my TBR. Regardless, I'm really excited for my reading in May. I feel like my reading has been going really well so far this year, and I'm excited to continue that. I will leave all of my socials down in the description box below, but it is Books with Neeks on Instagram and Twitter. I also stream games and reading sprints on Twitch at twitch.tv/tkitty with 2 Ys. And yeah, I hope you have a great day or night, and I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye!